might sound hard to believe, given that the Celtics are 15-9 in the 3 seed in the Eastern Conference, but I think they're actually going to get even better. That's what we're going to discuss on today's edition of Boston Celtics Today by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Tyler Smith. And before we do, this Celtics team, I don't even think was prepared to be as good as they are right now. Derrick White's saying this: I didn't expect us to see this amount of growth this soon. I knew it would happen as we continue to go about the journey, but to see it blossom 24, 25 games in is a great sign for us. And it's a really great sign when you consider how rigorous this schedule has been so far for your Boston Celtics. They've played 24 games so far, like most of the teams around the league have, but the way that their schedule has been condensed, it's insane to see the success they've had. The Celtics have played 5 games in 7 days twice so far this year. They went 3-2 on the opening 5-game stretch, but if you didn't know, this happened just now, and they're on a 5-game winning streak. They went 5-0 over that 7-day stretch, and I mean, to consider that this has already happened for them, it's already in the rear view window, things are going to get easier for your Boston Celtics very, very soon. Now, the C's have a mini break this week. They did not make the quarterfinals. They did not make it to Vegas in the NBA Cup, so they're getting a little bit of a break here. The last game was on Sunday, and they don't play until tomorrow on Thursday, so much-needed rest for a team that already had a bunch of games jammed into the first month and a half of the NBA season. Now, before we tell you how they keep this up, I got to tell you guys, I was thrown a challenge by a certain host here at Chat Sports. Yes, Knicks Now host Marshall Green said that we could not get 400 likes on today's video. He continues to talk that smack because the Knicks are still ahead of the Celtics in the standings, so I need you guys to prove him wrong and shut him up by going down below and hit that like button on today's video. All right, we showed this on yesterday's show, but I just want to reiterate that the Celtics are actually good. Yes, for the first 24 games of the season, they're the 3 seed in the Eastern Conference, but it's not because they've played a lax schedule or they've been playing some of the bottom feeders around the league. No, the Celtics have the most wins against the NBA's top competition in the league so far. 9 wins against teams 500 or better. That leads the NBA. So let's look ahead to where the Celtics are at this point in the season, because the next 4 games, they do play some of those teams that are above 500, that are in the top 6 seeds in their respective conferences, all being in the East here. Not the Bucks, though. They just fell out because Giannis Antetokounmpo is out with the calf strain. So the Bucks are hovering around that 10 spot. They're under 500 at this point. But then you go out and play the Detroit Pistons, who you already beat, but they're a formidable opponent at the top of the East. The Miami Heat, I don't know what to think about the Miami Heat at this point. They're kind of sliding and treading in the wrong direction, but they're still a top 6 seed in the East. And then the Raptors you match up with once again, who you got your last win over on Sunday. So some pretty stiff competition here over the next 4 games, but I don't think that the Celtics are going to be, in a spot where they're losing 3 out of these 4 or even going 2-2. I expect a 3-1 stretch here for Boston. But that we know the Celtics can do. We know they can keep up with the top teams in this league. Next, they have to avoid the dumb losses that are on that could be on their schedule, because we've seen it so far this year. The Celtics have like 2 or 3 really dumb losses. One being to the Utah Jazz. We were here. I think we were live for that game as well. Also, the Brooklyn Nets loss that they had a couple of weeks ago. Just inexcusable stuff. You don't want to be losing to teams that literally want to lose. So you've got to avoid that. And after that next 4-game stretch, the Celtics have a lot of these potential hiccups on their schedule. This is a critical stretch to basically round out the calendar year 2025 for Boston, then leak a little bit into the 2026 year. You got a back-to-back against the Pacers. You have to win both of those games. The Pacers are actively tanking at this point in the season. Then you match up with the Trailblazers on the road. That could be tough. Drew Holiday, a little bit of a revenge game for him, but maybe an Anthony Simons revenge game on the road too. The Trailblazers are probably the best opponent out of the ones you see left on your screen. The Jazz, you got to get revenge there on the road. This is a critical road stretch as well. You go on the road to Indy, on the road to Portland, on the road to Utah, then in Sacramento. They're one of the worst teams I've ever seen. Speaking of, the Clippers, they're just as bad. There on January 3rd, and then you come back home to play the Chicago Bulls. That started the season, I think it was 6-0, and I think they've lost like 13 of the last 17. They're a bad team as well. The combined record for these squads that were playing over the following 7 games is 44-98. Bad basketball team. So my little projection here for the Celtics to continue to be in good standing is go 8-3 over your next 11. How about we maybe drop one to one of the 3 good teams that they play over the next 4, the Pistons, the Heat, or the Raptors. You can drop one of those games. I wouldn't be too upset at that. It's an 82-game season, long one away. And then, maybe you go 5-2 over that stretch on the road. It's going to be a grind. They're going to be far away from home. They're probably going to be lagging on the tail end of that road trip there. But I think you put yourself in a position to where you're 23-12, you're still on a 50-win pace, and you could potentially getting some big-time reinforcements later on this season. With that being said, comment down below for me. Predict the Celtics record over the next 11 games. 4 games against pretty solid Eastern Conference comp, and then you go on a pretty big road trip to the West Coast. Let me know what your record prediction is over the next 11 games down in the comment section below. All right, coming up next, what specifically on this Celtics roster with this Celtics team needs to be continued in order for them to keep this 50-win pace that they're on, in order for them to keep beating some of the top giants in the NBA? That's coming around the corner. First, though, I got to tell you guys about our sponsor, as this episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. It is the holiday season, folks. Bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes. It's all happening at once. And with us making decisions every day on what gifts to buy, what to eat, what games to watch, there's one place where making decisions and being right with those decisions can get you paid, and that is PrizePicks, the best daily fantasy sports app in the game. And new users can get hooked up because when you download the app and use our promo code CLNS, you get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. All you guys got to do to create one of those lineups, it's simple. Just pick 2 to 6 players and pick more or less on their projected stats. You can win up to 2,000 times your money with one lineup on PrizePicks. It's also becoming a social event as well, where you can copy other people's picks, celebrities, your friends, other creators, even my own picks for this football weekend. I got Caleb Williams of the Chicago Bears to have more than half a passing touchdown. That's a goblin pick, so it's easier to hit, but it decreases the payout just a little bit. DJ Moore, more than 33.5 receiving yards, and then perfect timing for Shedeur Sanders to have more than 30.5 pass attempts. You could tail my picks or fade my picks. Just do it at PrizePicks. If they're looking good and you don't feel all the way, confident in seeing the whole lineup through, PrizePicks even offers early payouts as well, a brand new feature. So download the app today and use that code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. All right, item number 1, order of business for the Celtics to continue this streak, this hot streak that they're on, this level of play that they're at. Jaylen Brown needs to continue to keep doing what he's doing, man. Playing like an MVP. Are you kidding me? I mean, Jaylen Brown is legitimately going to be All-NBA first team. If the Celtics keep up a 50-win pace and he continues to be around 30 points per game on average, yeah, the Celtics are going to win. And Jaylen Brown is going to get rewarded because of it. One of the best seasons any Boston Celtics ever had in their career. It's happening right now with Jaylen Brown. 29 points per game, 6 rebounds. He's really crashing the glass more than I've seen him do in previous seasons. He's also really evolved his game as a facilitator. Now he's seeing a bunch of double teams, and he's making the right reads, and he's hitting his open teammates, and those teammates are hitting their open shots. So that's really, really great to see. But he's also shooting the ball efficiently. Nearly 50% from the field, 36% from long range, which we know about Jaylen Brown. He's not the calling card of his game. So to see him close to league average there is really, really encouraging. And then you're seeing just the scoring output go absolutely insane, man. The most games of 30-plus points through the first 24 games of the season, Jaylen Brown there at number 2. JT's had a couple of strong starts of the season. Not as strong as this one for JB here. I didn't expect this out of Jaylen Brown, but if he continues to play like this, the Celtics are going to win games because Jaylen Brown is getting buckets, and he's also playing both ends of the floor, defending at a super high level as well. Number 2 on the items and orders of business for the Celtics to be even better than they are right now. Your role players have to continue knocking down jumpers. It is imperative that the Celtics, when their superstars are double-teamed, when they can't get anything going in isolation, that these players that are hanging around the perimeter are continuing to hit their jumpers. I mean, the young wings on this Celtics team have been on fire to start the year. Now, is the volume really there? No, none of these guys are even shooting a full three three-pointers a game. But Baylor Shireman hitting nearly 50% of his looks. Ugo Gonzalez hitting 47% of his looks. Jordan Walsh hitting 46% of his. Josh Minott hitting 45% of his. I mean, this guy didn't even take a 3 before joining the Boston Celtics this season. Unbelievable. And you couple that with the superstars doing their thing too. Jaylen Brown, Sam Hauser, Derrick White. They're all shooting over 40% from three-point range in the month of December so far through the first 4 games for your Boston Celtics this month. So is it sustainable? Maybe not. But if they continue to hit at even 5% less than these figures that you see on your screen, then the Celtics are going to be looked at as one of the best shooting teams in all of basketball throughout the season. Item number 3 on this list. Continue winning the turnover battle. And specifically, continue to take care of the basketball. Because the Celtics do force turnovers at a high rate, but what they do better than anybody is keep things clean. Don't give opponents the easy buckets. 2 years ago, when the Celtics won their title, first in the NBA in turnovers per game. Last year, second in the NBA with an identical figure. This year, they're somehow turning it over less. Somehow, some way, they're back first atop the NBA in turnovers per game. Also, opponents score 14.5 points off turnovers per game. That ranks the lowest in the NBA. I meant to say 30th. I was thinking NFL there for a second. But the Celtics are also top 10 in the league in their own points off turnovers, in their opponent turnover percentage there. So not only do they keep things clean, but they also cause havoc on the defensive end there. They are a top 10 in points off turnovers. They are a top 10 in opponent turnover percentage. Or actually, I believe the opponent turnover percentage is nearly the top of the league. It's like 12.2. It's unbelievable what Boston does here. They play the right way. And if they continue to do that, they'll be at the top of the league, no doubt. Item number 4. Jordan Walsh. I continue to be floored, speechless at what Jordan Walsh has done to your favorite NBA player so far this year. I mean, it doesn't even matter who it is. It could be one of the league's elite point guards. It could be one of the league's elite wings. It could be one of the league's elite centers. It doesn't matter. Jordan Walsh is going to put the clamps on you. Just look at a couple of the players that he's defended so far this season. James Harden held him to 3-7. Donovan Mitchell held him to 2-4. This isn't even including the turnovers that Jordan Walsh has forced against all these players. Cade Cunningham, 0-6. Tyrese Maxey, 1-9. He's looking like an all-NBA player elsewhere when he's not guarded by Jordan Walsh. Scottie Barnes, clamped him. Franz Wagner, clamped him. Austin Reaves, clamped him. Jaren Jackson, clamped him. You see, now we're getting into the bigs. It was guards at first, but now he's clamping up 6'10 and above. I mean, Karl-Anthony Towns, straight jacket. Anthony Edwards, straight jacket. Unbelievable. And if these numbers aren't enough for you, I got nerd numbers for you too. Don't worry. Some of his perimeter isolation defense grades. Oh, A+. If you don't know what the numbers mean, doesn't matter. The grade's an A+ across the board. Ball screen recognition. Off the closeout defense. You have the passing lane defense is even a B+. Pickpocket rate. So this guy's forcing turnovers at a super high rate. What about these other ones as well? You have the guarded offensive. Yeah, it's unbelievable. These are nerd numbers. It doesn't matter. What I'm trying to paint the picture of is that Jordan Walsh is one of the best defenders in all of basketball, bar none. And he's going to make an all-NBA defensive team if he keeps this up. However, I did want to note this to you guys. Did you guys know that you have to play 20 minutes in an NBA game in order for it to count for the 65-game total that you need for end-of-season awards and all-NBAs, all-defensive, all-rookie stuff? What? So I get the whole reasoning behind playing 65 games. You don't want to give it to guys who barely played. But the fact that they have to play 20 minutes in a game, like Jordan Walsh has played 18 or 19 minutes 4 times so far this year. He's only paced to hit 40 to 50 games of service, according to the NBA awards givers. So I think that is utterly ridiculous. Jordan Walsh, continue doing what you're doing. You will get rewarded at the end of the day. Item number 5, final item. Stay healthy. Stay healthy and get healthy. You stay healthy. You don't lose any major contributors for extended periods during the season. Jaylen Brown, Derrick White, Peyton Pritchard. And you're going to be in a good spot, especially when you consider that Jason Tatum could be returning very, very soon. This is what Jaylen Brown had to say about injuries. He said, health is key, and you see a ton of guys getting injured around the league and sitting out games. I want to play as many games as I possibly can. I had some injuries last year that kind of derailed me toward the end of the season. So, health was a big emphasis going into the year. Then at the start of the season, going into the preseason, I had a hamstring strain. Not ideal. But the medical staff managed it well, and I think I'm getting over the hump. Now, that was last month. Jaylen Brown clearly looks like he's gotten over the hump at this point. And look, man, if anything like that was re-aggravated, or if Brown found another injury that kept him out for a couple of games or more, this Celtics team would be tanked. And it's not just because of how good of a scorer Jaylen Brown is, or how good of a two-way player he is on the wing. It's really because of how teams attack the Boston Celtics. Jaylen Brown is one of the most doubled players in the NBA this year. So is Jason Tatum. So teams always double the Jays. What do the Jays do? They make you pay for it. The Celtics always, always, always have a numbers advantage. That's why they're hitting such a great percentage of their threes so far this year, because they're always open. Why do you think they're getting so many looks around the rim this year? Because guys are leaking and cutting when they're not being guarded. So stay healthy, keep JB healthy, get JT healthy, and you're going to have one of the most dangerous offensive attacks in all of basketball. And that's what we've kind of known Joe Mazzulla to build with his rosters at this point. With that being said, I've told you how the Celtics continue their dominance. Where do they finish in the East standings? When it's all said and done, where do the Boston Celtics finish in the Eastern Conference standings? You comment down below. Let me know what it is. And if you want to talk about it more, we can talk about it on social media. Hit me up on Twitter. Give me a follow over at Tyler J. Smith, 2 H's, because the name is common, but I am not. And make sure you are subscribed to the channel as well. YouTube.com/Celtics TV for the latest and greatest on your C's all season long. We'll see you guys next video. And as always, let's go C's.